Hello, good evening everyone. Am I audible? Okay, let me share the link with others so that they can join the class. Just give me 1 minute to start the lecture. Hello. We'll wait for others to join the class. Please have patience. Is that everything fair? We can confirm, please. Is everything fair? Good evening, Deepak. Good evening. Okay, actually we have changed the time, so let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes more so that others can join the class. Good evening, Chandram. Fair. So as we have done almost the conceptual clarities for the analytical geometry part, and now it's time to summarize the things. Okay, dears. So nothing new as such we have to deal now. Just application part. So today's chapter is generating lines. We will go for the conceptual clarity session, and it's a short session, so we will go for problem solving sessions as well. Okay, as UPSC, be it the CSE or forest services, in both of the exams you can find the PYQs out of this chapter, an exclusive chapter for us, so we have to deal that accordingly. Fair. मतलब कुछ भी नया करके नहीं है. There is nothing new in this chapter. Fair. चलिए. Be on the board, please, everyone. So सबसे पहले we will have a heading. Let's say brainstorming what we will do here in this chapter. Fair, dear fellows. So when I call ki we have to study the generating lines, then what are the basics we already have? Let's recall. देखना ध्यान से. Cone, cylinder. What I said? It is a surface generated by variable lines passing through a fixed point. Okay, dear fellows. Chale. When you talk about cylinder, this is also a surface. Please underline the word generated. This is also a surface generated by variable lines. When I say line, that means a straight line, variable lines parallel to some given fixed line. Right. So these two surfaces we already have dealt, and we know, for example, if you talk about this is the fixed point and this is the variable line, as I also told in that cone wala lecture, let's say this is the guiding curve. So we can generate a cone here. So this variable line is called generating line for cone. When you talk about cylinder, so what basically have, let's say this is the given line, I already told in the conceptual clarity session. So let's say we have these parallel lines, तो ये जो variable lines हैं, those we call as generating lines. इसके लिए मिल जाएगा for cylinder. I hope this will be clear to all, right? Any guiding curve need not be circle. Circle is a guiding curve for right circular cylinder only. So if you want to imagine the what I say generating lines, then suppose that this is a cylinder. देखना यहाँ सारा का सारा खेल feelings का है. Suppose that this is a cylinder. If you take one line here, other line just consecutive, other line just consecutively, if you take the lines like this, so those variable lines will generate this surface cylinder or not. Similarly, you can imagine for this. But here the topic is we want to discuss the generating lines for central conicoids, right or not? So mathematically we want to talk about generating lines for central conicoids. Here we have that feeling, so we can evolve ourselves based on these things. Am I clear or not? चलिए ध्यान से देखिएगा. The same thing we can talk about here. But here we don't have a particular case cone or cylinder, so we will talk in general. Let's talk in general. किसके लिए मेरे प्यारे बच्चों? For generating lines. चलिए आराम से देखते रहना. You will feel today और generating line इतना ready हो जाएगा अपना कि थोड़े टाइम के बाद उसमें कुछ भी एफर्ट्स नहीं डालना करके. चलिए सो अभी देखिएगा we may have a word that is called ruled surface. ठीक ध्यान से सुनिएगा. We have a term ruled surface. So what is the ruled surface? A surface which is generated by a ruled which is generated by a variable straight line. Fair? So this is the ruled surface. Now I talk about कि ruled surface is of two types. Number one, developable surfaces, and other is skew surfaces. So what are the developable surfaces? Two consecutive generators अच्छा, ये जो जनरेटिंग लाइंस होते हैं, these are called generators. Okay, two consecutive generators intersects. Okay, dear fellows, here two consecutive generators do not intersect. I don't know here it is visible or not. If not, so please ask. So thing is, dear fellows, for example, here we have cone, cylinder, and here we have, for example, hyperboloid, paraboloid, etc. So in case of generating lines, we have some terms at our head. What are those terms, my dear fellows? Number first is, what are ruled surfaces? Viswas maniye, no one is gonna ask you what is ruled surface. But for us to get a better picture कि what we are gonna study, ऐसा नहीं है कि अच्छा चलो पैराबोलॉइड का जनरेटिंग लाइन ये है, याद कर लो, ये वाला जनरेटिंग लाइन हाइपरबोलॉइड वन सीट का है, याद कर लो. It is not like that. It is all about feeling the concept, relating the dots. Fair? So whenever you talk about generating lines, what does that mean? For that I have drawn this picture. Please note down. Is that noted? Please say yes or no. Uday. Uday is asking real analysis कब से start होगा? Thank you, इतना अच्छा अच्छा. Uday, the real analysis will be started by the next week. This week we will finish the analytical geometry. You people will get the notification for that. जनरेटिंग लाइंस में बहुत ज्यादा तनाव लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, बहुत आसान सा टॉपिक है, एकदम बच्चा लोग की तरह मूव करेंगे. Okay, dear fellows. So what we are gonna do now is, ध्यान से देखेंगे, we will take one surface, let's say hyperboloid of 1 c. Okay? If you observe your PYQs, there are questions related with the hyperboloid of one seat. 95% are from the paraboloid itself. Okay? So not in general we need to have idea about all those surfaces. Very particular kind of stuff we have to develop as the concept. Fair? So hyperboloid of one seat I'm gonna pick for you, and we will demonstrate that. And the same things can be reflected over the other surfaces. So after doing this much conceptual clarity, अपने को एकदम से स्मूथ ट्रांजिशन होगा बिलीव मी. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. लेट्स एनालाइज generating lines. Let's analyze generating lines for hyperboloid of one seat. Fair? So when I talk about hyperboloid of one seat, let's say we have the mathematical form is, ओके डियर फेलोस, बहुत ध्यान से देखना कितना आसान है ये टॉपिक, बट यू हैव टू कनेक्ट द डॉट्स. देखिए ध्यान से. बी ऑन द वर्ड प्लीज एवरीवन. सिंस इक्वेशन 1 कैन बी written as x square upon a square minus z square upon c square equals 1 minus y square upon b square. This again can be written as x upon a plus z upon c, x upon a minus z upon c equals 1 plus y upon b into 1 minus y upon b. I won't say कि मेरे को सपना आया था ऐसा करने को. Not at all. I have studied that, revised that, then it is like settled in my mind कि okay, this is how we can manage the equation to go further. Fair? So what is the motive behind that? बोर्ड पर देखेंगे. मोटिव क्या है हमारा? मोटिव ये है, इफ लेट्स से L1 is a generating line for surface which is given to us, for given surface, then it lies completely on the surface. ठीक है ध्यान से इस चीज को. If you are saying कि L1 is a generating line, then that line lies completely on the surface. If you talk about this is the generating line, this is the generating line, means all those generating lines must lie on the cylinder itself. Am I clear? चलिए. So if L1 is a generating line for surface, then it lies completely on that. So keeping this motive in my mind, I have designed this equation. अब ध्यान से देखना. Tentatively, देखिएगा ध्यान से. Tentatively, we write equation 2 as. सारे लोग यहां पर ध्यान से देखेंगे, because this is what you need to do in this whole chapter. देखिए ध्यान से. What I can do here is, if I take x upon a plus z upon c equals lambda into 1 plus y upon b, and x upon a minus z upon c equals 1 upon lambda into 1 minus by upon b, where lambda is a non-zero parameter. फिर अब आप कहेंगे सर आपने ऐसे क्यों लिखा? अभी बहुत प्यारा सा एक्सप्लेनेशन मिलेगा, देखिएगा ध्यान से. वन मोर सिस्टम आई राइट आउट ऑफ द इक्वेशन 2 itself. ध्यान से देखना, LHS को आई एम रिवर्सिंग. ध्यान से देखिएगा, बिकॉज दिस इज अ मैथड फॉर यू. ओके डियर्स, सो व्हाट आई डू, I take this factor here now. Please notice this. And this factor I keep as it is. Here I take another parameter mu. Fair? Now I take this LHS part here and I take this as 1 upon mu, and the RHS wala factor I don't do any like intervention in that. Again mu is a parameter. बहुत ध्यान से देखना, भागने को मैं यहाँ 2 मिनट में भाग सकता हूँ, लेकिन विश्वास मानिए अगर इतना टाइम दे रहा हूं तो आपके घंटों बचा रहा हूं मैं. अदरवाइज यू विल बी जस्ट वंडरिंग हियर एंड देयर. देखिए ध्यान से, एक स्लाइड पे सारी चीज कवर हो जाएगी. इफ यू ऑब्जर्व इक्वेशन 2 हैज ओनली दीज परमुटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन. व्हाट आई हैव डन, परम्यूटेशन फॉर इक्वेशन 2. यही 2 परम्यूटेशन पॉसिबल हैं इक्वेशन 2 के लिए. इफ आई ट्राई टू राइट द फैक्टर्स लाइक दिस. अभी यू विल आस्क, सर व्हाट इज द मोटिव बिहाइंड राइटिंग सच फैक्टर्स? से यस और नो. ध्यान से देखिएगा, ऑब्जर्व कीजिए. दैट इज अगेन अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन माय डियर फेलोज. लिखिए नहीं, देखिए इधर, पीटूंगा नहीं तो. 3 is a system of 2 planes. बोलो हाँ या ना. This is a plane AX plus BY plus CZ type. बोलो हाँ या ना. This is a plane. This is a plane का इक्वेशन. 2 planes together represent a straight line. बोलो हाँ या ना, किसी को कोई तनाव. So 3 gives a straight line. That is 3 gives a straight line. Similarly 4 gives, because 4 again 2 planes, 4 gives a straight line. बोलो हाँ या ना. One more like very beautiful observation, very beautiful. ध्यान से देखते रहना प्यारे बच्चों, देखिएगा ध्यान से. Clearly, if we multiply 2 equations in 3 or 4, we get the equation 2 itself. बोलो हाँ या ना. or any point satisfying 3 will also satisfy equation 2, that is given surface. बोलो हाँ या ना. So what I told you कहां गया? ध्यान से देखिए इस चीज को. If you have a line L1 which lies completely on the surface, then that line will be called as a generating line. So 3 is a generating line for 2, comma 4 is also a generating line for the second observation indicates the line completely lies on the surface. So that was the beautiful picture which I wanted to draw for you. What is that? On managing the given equation of the surface, ध्यान से देखिएगा, without any method, you can tell the generating lines of that surface. That is one way. The other way, which we already know, that I am going to tell you now. But for the time being, the number first thing is when you can manage the surface like this, then you can directly tell what are the generating lines. If you need those in symmetric form, then this unsymmetric form can be converted into symmetric form. This can be converted into the symmetric form, and you can write two straight lines as generating lines for. किसी को कोई डाउट है तो बताइए, नहीं है तो आराम से लिखिए इसको, लिखिए इसको, कोई डाउट रहेगा तो पूछेंगे.
ये कैसा कंपास है? अजीब सा.
तो उससे क्या मतलब है? कंपास तो कंपास होता है.
वो बात तो सही.
उसको घुमा घुमा के कर दो, इसीलिए मंगाया था. वो पहले हर चीज खोल के निकाल के पहले देख लो, अभी खो जाएगा पैक होने लगना.
ये तो 360 मिलता है.
और अगर खो गया है करता तो है.
लेकिन वो 10 जेबी से डाल देते नाम को.
चलो आ जरूर जरूर चलो.
नोट हो जाएगा तो बता देंगे.
चलो 5 कितने पड़े थे उस हिसाब में.
Everyone, is that noted?
तेरे पास है ना, मेरे पास है. मेरा पास ये मैं चल अच्छा शॉट करते हैं. मेरा
चलो कर लो.
ये टाइम की चिड़िया तो होती है, मैंने देखी है.
Please reply, everyone. Is that noted?
अब ये वाले सरकार वाले कहाँ गए? लो वो दो कौन चक्का अभी वो वाला.
Okay, dears. So here what you can do is You can write here the exam point 1. Okay, and here write please method 1 to find generating lines. Method 1 to find generating lines. Please write that. Sorry, I missed that. This is a method to find generating lines. Clear, dear fellows?
वो मैं इधर कर रहा हूँ.
इसको रख दो.
So other method also we have. We'll go on that as well.
तो reading
टेबल पे
रुको ना.
टेबल के ऊपर
इतना लंबा.
देखिए ध्यान से, उस पर भी हम लोग पूरी एनर्जी डालेंगे. One question you have prepared, okay? In your CSE and forest services. One question is done. Let's move to the second kind of question now. Yeah? Write the heading please. Method 2. To discuss about generating lines of 1. ठीक है, of the surface 1. आदत में रहेंगे तो गलती नहीं होगी. Of the surface 1. आराम से देखिए बिना किसी तनाव के. You know the word please everyone. That is the method over which we have done the PhD now. Okay. Let x minus alpha equals y minus beta equals z minus gamma upon n equals r, obviously the parameter, be
उसमें दिखाई देखी
a generating line of the surface 1. So we know. So the point, what point? Alpha plus LR beta plus MR, that the value, gamma plus NR must satisfy 1. So if it satisfies 1, that is we have, क्या हो जाएगा प्यारे बच्चों हमारे पास, अल्फा प्लस एल आर का होल स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाई ए स्क्वायर प्लस बीटा प्लस एम आर का होल स्क्वायर. हम चाहें तो जनरल इक्वेशन पे कर देते हैं, हाइपरबोलॉइड पर ही क्यों करें. Let's say I give this equation as well. Please edit that. And let's say this is the equation 2. और हम डिस्कस कर लेते हैं 1 के लिए, है ना? क्यों हम अलग अलग करेंगे, एक ही पे काम हो जाएगा. So a into alpha plus lr का होल स्क्वायर प्लस b into बीटा प्लस mr का होल स्क्वायर c into gamma plus nr का होल स्क्वायर इक्वल्स टू 1. आफ्टर दिस व्हाट वी डू, जायसवाल क्या करते हैं, जल्दी बोलिए. अभी देखिए देखिए मैं चेक कर रहा हूं, जल्दी बोलिए क्या करेंगे आप. मैसेज देख रहा हूं मैं, जल्दी बोलिए. व्हाट वी डू नाउ, क्योंकि ये लास्ट चांस है अब हमारे लिए, इसके बाद चांस नहीं मिलेगा. क्वाड्रेटिक इन आर, बहुत बढ़िया. Let's arrange the term as quadratic equation in R. So we will have AL square plus BM square plus CN square as the coefficient of R square. फिर A alpha L plus B beta M plus C gamma N as the coefficient of 2R plus अभी बचेगा A alpha square plus B beta square plus C gamma square equals to 1. ध्यान से देखते रहना प्यारे बच्चों, अभी वी आर गोना गेट अ ब्यूटीफुल रिजल्ट नाउ. ठीक है, वी ऑन द वर्ड प्लीज. AL square BM square CN square into R square A alpha L B beta M C gamma N 2R plus A alpha square plus B beta square plus C gamma square minus 1 equals to 0. ध्यान से देखिएगा. लेट्स से दिस इज द इक्वेशन 3. अब देखिए दीपक, if we want tangent plane at the point alpha beta gamma, so we need R का both values of R as 0. If we want plane of contact, then we need two values of R as equal. But here, since we need or we are writing finding generating lines, that means lies completely on 1, means no matter what the value of R I take, this equation is satisfied. Say yes or no. Yes. So from 3 we must have, from me in 3 we must have, क्या होना चाहिए? This coefficient must be 0, right? This coefficient must be 0. This term must be 0. बोलिए हाँ या ना. So let's say this is the equation 4, this is 5, this is 6. क्लियर है कि नहीं? आराम से एकदम बिना किसी तनाव के. ठीक है. रजत, if we need to find, let's say, direction cosines of generating lines, this is a linear equation because this is constant. This is constant LMN. So this is a linear equation in LMN. This is a quadratic equation in LMN. If you solve 4 and 5, you will get a set of DCs or not. L1 M1 N1, L2 M2 N2. विश्वास लाइए सारे लोग एकदम से. मैसेज कीजिए, देख रहा हूं मैं. दीपक जा, राइट. Is that clear or not? So one method where in the method 1 we tried to write the generating lines. Second method, suppose that someone is interested कि भाई generators are mutually perpendicular or not. In that case, what we need to check? L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2 equals to 0 or not. तो मारिए ना गोली उसको. इधर आइए सीधा. So write this linear equation in LMN, quadratic equation in LMN. By solving these two, like the chapter DCs and DRS, you will get the set of DCs or not. And you can cross check whether that condition is satisfied or not. So what it will be helpful, ध्यान से देखिएगा. You have the word please everyone. While calculating L1 M1 N1 and other set is L2 M2 N2, right? किसके लिए? For generators. आगे आइए, ध्यान से देखते रहिएगा प्यारे बच्चों। सिंस LM and R, देखिए ध्यान से, बी ऑन द वर्ड प्लीज। सिंस LM and R parameters for us because we have taken those, right? So equation 5 का लोकस अगर हम लिखेंगे, so we may have a alpha x, इधर में इसके पास तो 1 नहीं है, ठीक है, सॉरी x माइनस अल्फा, l कम गया, l माइनस x माइनस l प्लस b बीटा into y minus beta plus c gamma into z minus gamma equals 0. This already we had discussed. A alpha x plus b beta y plus c gamma z equals to a alpha square plus b beta square plus c gamma square, and that is giving you 1. Rajat, this is the equation of what? Tell me. This is the equation of tangent plane at the point alpha beta gamma to the conicoid 1 or not? बोलो हाँ या ना. So what you can say? If you are writing the ध्यान से सुनना. If you are writing the generating line passing through the alpha beta gamma, then there you will get a tangent plane at that point. बोलो हाँ या ना. So what does this imply? This implies at alpha beta gamma there exists tangent plane to the central conicoid 1. लिख लीजिए प्लीज. बाकी इंटरप्रिटेशंस लाइक दिस, ए अल्फा बीटा गामा लाइज ऑन द सरफेस, सेटिस्फाई कर रहे हैं. अभी इसके बारे में और लिखेंगे. एक ब्यूटीफुल ऑब्जर्वेशन, प्लीज नोट डाउन टिल हियर. So this is another important observations, very important. Please do revise that. बिना किसी तनाव के. कहने का मतलब जनरेटिंग लाइन के पॉइंट पर आपको एक टेंजेंट प्लेन मिलेगा उस सरफेस के लिए. वैसे भी आप फील कर सकते हैं. This is generating line like that. So any point if you take over this generating line, over that you can draw a tangent plane for the surface. If you are talking about generating line, if you take any line here, इसके ऊपर में you take a point, तो वो थोड़ी ना tangent plane बन जाएगा इसका. प्लीज राइट डाउन. कोई भी डाउट रहेगा तो पूछेंगे. विदित कुमार, यश, Is that done? Everyone? Have you noted this? So please highlight this point. And not only highlight, feel that. If you talk about any point on the generating line, at that point you will have a tangent plane to that surface. Clear or not? Shundram, Alia, everyone. Did you feel this point? चलिए अभी देखिएगा एक और यहाँ पर ब्यूटीफुल ऑब्जर्वेशन करते हैं. देखिएगा, सो नोट 2 करके लिख देंगे. ब्यूटीफुल नोट लिखिए. मतलब मुझे आई फील लाइक व्हेन यू फील दिस टॉपिक इज वेरी एब्सर्ड, वेरी एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, आई ट्राई टू एंजॉय दैट मोर बिकॉज conceptual clarity makes you this level of understanding. Fair? चलिए अभी ध्यान से देखिएगा. यहां पर सब लोग बी ऑन द बोर्ड प्लीज एवरीवन. ध्यान से देखिएगा. लेट इफ वी टेक a line, ध्यान से देखते रहिएगा, passing through the origin and parallel to above generating line. ठीक है, parallel to above generating line, then इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? दैट इज you have a line x upon l equals y upon m equals z upon n. So this implies point on line क्या मिल जाएगा आपको? LR, MR, NR. You can take other arbitrary parameter. R dash लिख लो उसको. क्या तनाव है? कोई तनाव नहीं. Clearly, ध्यान से देखिएगा. Clearly, this point satisfy for, that is, it lies on ax square plus by square plus cz square equals to 0. Check it out. आराम से देखिए, पूरा भरपूर आनंद लेते हुए. What does it imply? If you take a parallel line to the generating line, fair, and that line that you have taken, that passing through the origin, then that line per any point will satisfy the surface 1. That means you surface 1 nahi, surface 4. This surface is a very famous one. This is called asymptotic cone. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? Asymptotic cone. Please write down. This surface we call it as asymptotic cone. Ax square plus by square plus cz square equals to 0. So within the generating line, this one more beautiful observation. Okay dears, so when you talk about the generating lines, that simply indicates when you talk about the generating lines, it simply indicates if we have generating line के ऊपर, if you have any point over that, you have a tangent plane to that surface, and if I take a line parallel to generating line, okay, if I take a line parallel to generating line passing through the origin, then any point on that particular line will be lying on the asymptotic cone ax square plus by square plus cz square equals to 0. I hope it will be clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask. So out of generating line, these two observations are necessary, and to make your interest as well. लिख लीजिए, प्लीज राइट दिस नोट एज वेल, आराम से लिखिए. ओके शुभम. Is that noted? Shall I move now? ठीक है, ओके, लिखिए आराम से. शिपू जयेश्वर, नोट डाउन प्लीज. Is that noted? Shall I move now? Shall I proceed? Okay, fair. चलिए. So half of the battle we have won. अब चलते हैं दूसरे युद्ध क्षेत्र की ओर, है ना. So many Hindi words I am using, Sudhakaran, I am sorry, but those are not necessary for the stuff. If necessary, I repeat. चलिए. So let's move back on the method 1 and let's discuss about some basic properties. ठीक है, ध्यान से देखिए. Write a heading please. Write a heading. Properties of generators. Here we are gonna learn now properties of generators. For example, we will be discussing for hyperboloid of one seat to have the better picture in our mind, and later on we can extend that to any surface. Clear? चलिए ध्यान से देखेंगे इस चीज को. Property 1. Only once you have to see these properties and in detail. After that, automatically those will be settled in your mind. No need to panic about that. देखिएगा ध्यान से. So we call lambda system of generators which we learned in the method 1, other we call mu system of generators. Okay dear fellows, देखिएगा ध्यान से. If you talk about lambda system of generators, so that is written like x upon a plus z upon c equals lambda into 1 plus y upon b. I have already told in the method 1 how to write that. Other is x upon a minus z upon c equals 1 minus y upon b. ध्यान से देखते रहना. The mu system we write, only we exchange these LHS wala factor, RHS we remain as it is with the other parameter mu. So that is the way to write generators. Please remember this, otherwise blunder can happen. देखिए ध्यान से. Property 1 says what? Property 1 says two generators of same system do not intersect. Okay? What is the property? If you talk about generators, ध्यान से देखिएगा. If you talk about generators, then if you talk about lambda system of generators, okay? ध्यान से देखते रहिएगा इस चीज को कि what does this mean? Don't confuse. I am talking about this and this. No, two generators of same system. Fair? So if I call about two generators of same system for hyperboloid of one seat, so those I can write. Suppose that I take a parameter lambda 1 plus y upon b, कॉमा. ध्यान से देखिएगा प्लीज, क्योंकि वापस से फिर रोएंगे जाके कि पता नहीं मास्टर क्या करके गया था. ठीक है. सो दिस इज वन जनरेटर ऑफ लैम्डा सिस्टम. ओके. Let's say I take another generator of the lambda system itself. So I take another parameter that is lambda 2 now, but that is a lambda system. So I will keep the expressions like this only. Am I clear? So what does it say? It says that these two generators cannot intersect. What does this say? These cannot intersect. Fair? That is the property 1. तो बोलेंगे आप ऐसा कैसे क्लेम कर सकते हैं? तो हमने कहा नहीं कर सकते, तो जरा करो इसको. मान लो इंटरसेक्ट करते हैं. So what you will say? To prove let if they intersect, that is our assumption, right? If they intersect, so on solving equations we get, ध्यान से देखिएगा, this is x upon a plus z upon c, this is x upon a plus z upon c, we get lambda into 1 plus y upon b equals lambda 2 into 1 plus y upon b. From this expression we got 1 upon lambda 1 into 1 minus y upon b equals 1 upon lambda 2 into 1 minus y upon b. This implies lambda 1 minus lambda 2 into 1 plus y upon b goes to 0. This implies 1 upon lambda 1 minus 1 upon lambda 2, 1 minus y upon b equals to 0. This implies 1 plus y upon b equals to 0, since lambda 1 is not equals to lambda 2. Similarly, this implies 1 minus y equals to 0, because lambda 1 and lambda 2, these are two different generators. So lambda 1 cannot be equal to lambda 2. So this implies y equals to minus b. This implies y equals to b. So if I call these equations as 3 and 4, so from 3 and 4 we have b equals minus b, that implies b equals to 0. Is it visible till here? From these two equations we have b equals to 0, which is impossible. Which is impossible because in that case this denominator will become 0. So b cannot be 0. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Our assumption was wrong. Our assumption was wrong. नहीं दिखेगा तो प्लीज आस्क. मुझे लग रहा है शायद ज्यादा नीचे गया है. नहीं दिखेगा तो प्लीज आस्क. रजत कुमार बाहर आइए जरा. हियर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट स्क्यू सरफेसेस. कोन एंड सिलेंडर तो कर चुके हैं. रजत, डिड यू कैच द पॉइंट? दीपक, शिबू, एवरीवन, we are talking about hyperboloid, and that is a skew surface, not the developable surface. Okay, and please underline this thing. highlight कर लीजिए इसको. Please highlight same system, क्योंकि property 2 में we will take one generator of this, one generator of this, and then they will intersect at a unique point. That is the property 2. पहले लिखिए इसको, इसका पूरा भरपूर बाजा बजाइए. कुछ नहीं दिखेगा तो पूछेंगे.
क्लास चल रहा है, इसमें क्लियर है फिर।
Okay, so is that done? Okay, I guess last line is not visible, so I'm repeating that. I'm repeating the last line, please. I'm writing that again, not an issue, not an issue. So from equation 3 and 4, please write that, the last line. From 3 and 4, we have b equals minus b, which is b implying b equals 0, which is impossible for the surface 1. So our assumption was wrong. Our assumption was wrong means property 1 proved. That we were trying to do, right? Please write down that. कनिष्क जोशी, अभी ओके है? I hope it is done now, right? So property 1 says कि of the same generator, of the same system, two generators cannot intersect. Fair? Now let's move the very important property 2. Please write the heading. Property 2, I am saying very important. Based on this, we will have problems to solve, be it in the CSE or the forest services. Okay? So let's say this is a lambda system of generators and this is a mu system of generators. Fair? So let's give this as equation 5. Let's say ऊपर से देखे चले आ सकते थे, दोबारा लिख लीजिए, नॉट एन इशू. प्लीज राइट अगेन. सो प्रॉपर्टी 2 सेज व्हाट? ध्यान से सुन लेना आप, कलाकारी बिल्कुल नहीं. बियॉन्ड द वर्ड प्लीज एवरीवन. इट सेज वन जनरेटर ऑफ लैम्डा सिस्टम and one generator of mu system intersects at a point. That is the property. Now we are interesting to find this intersection point. Right or not? The important job here is, because the whole chapter of the generating lines will be dealt based on this. तो बिल्कुल भी तनाव नहीं लेना है, एकदम से आराम से मूव करना है, क्योंकि जस्ट 3 प्रॉपर्टीज मोर, उसके बाद में जनरेटिंग लाइंस का भंडारा हो जाएगा. ठीक है? आराम से एकदम विश्वास के साथ होगा, तनाव मत लीजिए. चलो, सो लेट्स गेट, क्या करेंगे? सॉल्विंग 5 and 6. देखिएगा, सिंस अगर हम देखें x अपॉन a माइनस जेड अपॉन सी, RHS comparison for x minus a upon x upon a minus z upon c in 5 and 6, we get, क्या मिल जाता है अपने को? Okay, 1 upon lambda into 1 minus y upon b equals mu into 1 plus y upon b. So if you, because we are interested in finding x, y, z का value, right? अरे भाई intersection point means what? Find x का value, y का value, z का value out of this system of equations. बात समझे? नहीं समझे तो देसी भाषा में लिखें. So this implies, अभी अपने को मिल गया 1 minus y upon b equals lambda into mu plus lambda into mu into y upon b. So जस्ट बच्चा लोग की तरह सॉल्व कर लेंगे, कोई इश्यू नहीं है इसके अंदर. So 1 minus lambda into mu, this is lambda into mu into y by b plus का y by b. So what do you got? This implies y by b equals 1 minus lambda into mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu. So this implies y equals b into 1 minus lambda into mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu. Right or not? Similarly, by using this by in system of equations 5 and 6, we get x का value a lambda upon 1 plus lambda into mu, z का value we got c lambda upon 1 plus lambda into mu. So our intersection point is, यहाँ पे लिखूं, यहाँ पे लिखते हैं. So intersection point is a into lambda upon 1 plus lambda into mu, b into 1 minus lambda into mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu, c into lambda upon 1 plus lambda into mu. चाहेंगे तो एक बार क्रॉस चेक कर लेंगे, इसको एग्जाम पॉइंट करके लिख दीजिएगा. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वी हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस. प्लीज राइट डाउन. A into lambda plus c into lambda minus c. इसको चेक कर लेंगे. The exact value is this. Although you can solve that as well. The book I have given you, in that the detailed solution is given as well. अगर आपको उसमें दिक्कत आएगा तो you can cross check from there itself. Here I have written, actually I forgot. Sorry. Okay. We forgot. So try to recall that. A into lambda plus mu, 1 plus lambda into mu. c into lambda minus mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu. Denominators तीनों का सेम है. फर्स्ट का lambda plus mu, थर्ड का lambda minus mu. Here it is 1 minus lambda into mu. This is bit different as compared to these. So that is automatically we can get by the inspection. मतलब उतना लिखने की जरूरत भी नहीं होगी. If you want to cross verify, please write that. So intersection point of one generator of lambda system, one generator of mu system is given by this. So we have to remember this. We have to remember this. Is that done? आराम से लिख लीजिए, कोई जल्दबाजी नहीं. Is that noted, everyone? Shall I proceed to the next? Next property is very beautiful. Everyone, please reply. Is that noted? Let's move on the third property. I guess everyone have noted, right? Chale. So third property is देखेंगे ध्यान से. Write down please the property. Plane through one member of lambda system. Plane through one member of lambda system, ठीक है, and one member of mu system, ठीक है, one member of lambda system and one member of mu system is the tangent plane, is a tangent plane to the hyperboloid कौन सा है 2, to the hyperboloid 2 at the point of intersection. Point of intersection we have seen in the property 2. Point of intersection is what? अभी तो याद हो गया a into lambda plus mu upon point of intersection, b into 1 minus lambda into mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu, c into lambda minus mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu. Right. So the first job for us is not going into details of this, how to prove it, but before that we need to have a proper understanding for this statement. Please read out this statement, everyone. आराम से पढ़िए। पढ़ लिया? चलिए, बहुत बढ़िया। आप देखिए इसके साथ खेल कर, many of the students whoever like getting through the books they may, क्योंकि मैं भी as a student I was confused कि यार ये कहना क्या चाह रहा है, ठीक है? तो कहना क्या चाह रहा है, let's explain to that. देखिए ध्यान से, plane, if you correctly recall, I have told you in the chapter 1 if you have one plane as let's say P1, other plane as capital P2, then a plane through P1 and P2 is written by P1 plus some lambda into P2 equals 0. Recall that? Recall the basics. So इसको पहले तो इसका मतलब समझ लेते हैं, इसका मतलब क्या है? This implies if you take one member of this system, let's say you have taken x upon a plus z upon c minus lambda into 1 plus y upon b. ठीक है? This is my capital P1, let's say. Okay? Now, if I take other member of this system, ठीक? Then I can write a plane which is P1 plus K1 P2. P2 I take let's say for this system, प्लस वाले के साथ ले सकते हैं, माइनस वाले के साथ, not an issue at all. So that is minus mu into 1 plus y upon b and that goes to 0. So this I call that is P2. I guess थोड़ा सा पिक्चर क्लियर हुआ होगा आप लोगों को कि ये कह क्या रहा है. It is saying plane through one member of lambda system. तो एक मेंबर इसका क्या है? लैम्बडा सिस्टम का ये है. Other member of mu system. So यहाँ से this वाला member I have taken. So plane through planes P1 and P2 can be written as P1 plus some constant K1 parameter you take into P2 as equal to 0. Right? So other possibility is what? If you take this wala part here, so what will happen? X upon a minus z upon c minus 1 upon lambda into 1 minus p. So let's say this is some p1 dash. We take other parameter as k2. Okay. Here I take the other member of this system. Let's say I take now plus wala system here. So that is, and that goes to 0. So let's say this is 7, this is 8. Am I clear or not? So let's say this is P1 dash and let's say this is some P2 dash. Dash का मतलब डेरिवेटिव मत समझ लीजिए. That is another member. Please write down this. After this, the beautiful khela we will khel. We will play. लिखे आराम से इसको पहले तो. So this represents 7 represents a plane through one member of this and one member. This represents a plane through one member of this and one member of this. Beautiful. आराम से लिखिए एकदम बिना किसी तनाव के. Please write down till here so that we can go for further. Is that done? Okay dears. अभी देखना बहुत एकदम मजे के साथ. What I want to discuss? I want to discuss a single plane. But for that single plane, I have the possibility like this, or I have the possibility like this. So, what you will say? So, 7 and 8 are similar if they are the similar. So that means if नीचे वाले को हटा दूं तो मेरे को अच्छा स्पेस मिल जाएगा. देखिएगा बी ऑन द बोर्ड प्लीज. Since 7 and 8, if 7 and 8 are similar planes, then क्या होगा? Coefficients must be in the same proportion. So what is the coefficient of x here? Please tell me. What is the coefficient of x here? So this is 1 x upon a, 1 plus k1 upon a, right? So 1 plus k1 upon a divided by what is the coefficient of x here? That is 1 plus k2 upon a. Okay. Now come on the y coefficient. Y का coefficient here it is minus lambda upon b. Minus lambda upon b. Here y का coefficient is minus का k1 mu upon b. Right or not? If you observe in this, what is the y का coefficient? So it will be plus का 1 upon lambda b. Fair? Plus k2. Here it will be plus का 1 upon mu into b. Now we go for the z का coefficients. So here z का coefficient is 1 upon c. So 1 plus 1 minus k1 upon c. 1 minus k1 upon c divided by. Here z का coefficient is minus 1 plus k2. Right? Minus 1 plus k2 by c. Now we move for the constant term. Constant term here it is minus lambda. Here it is minus का k1 mu. Minus का k1 mu. Here the constant term is कहाँ गया? Plus का 1 upon lambda. And here plus का minus k2 कहाँ गया? Minus का k2 upon mu. Right or not? Please cooperate. नहीं दिखेगा तो whatever I said, please try to listen that. अभी आपको बहुत ज्यादा तनाव लेने की जरूरत नहीं है कि सर इतना लिख लेंगे तो बुखार छूट जाएगा. नहीं छूटेगा. You had the fear because you never prepared like this in this much decoded form. Now everything is crystal clear. इसमें क्या है? Coefficient similar मतलब those are in the same proportion. I have written that there, right? अच्छा k1 ये मतलब ब्रैकेट में रहेगा है ना, क्योंकि दोनों के साथ में c है डिवाइड. So from above factors अभी सीधा लिख लेंगे. We get k1 as lambda upon mu and k2 as mu upon lambda. Just believe on me कि मास्टर कह रहा था ठीक कह रहा होगा. ठीक है. बाकी if you struck कि सर कैसे होगा तो booklet I have provided you, in that you can go through, but simply I am saying you can solve this system to get k1 and k2. Just बच्चा वाला ज्ञान. Okay. Once you have k1 and k2, use that k1 and k2 either in 7 or in 8. You will see the wonder. देखिए आराम से. Please write till here. So what happens? Use K1 or K2 in 7 or 8, we get, what we get here is lambda plus mu upon A into 1 plus lambda mu into x plus 1 minus lambda mu upon B into 1 plus lambda mu into y माइनस, यार इसमें थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन है मुझे, अभी मैं रेक्टिफाई करता हूँ प्लीज बेटर। दिस अभी पीछे में जो इंटरसेक्शन हमने लिखा है, फॉर दैट इंटरसेक्शन वी हैव a in the numerator, so here a is the एक बार इसको लिखिएगा, फिर मेरे को ए बी सी में कंफ्यूजन आ रहा है। बिकॉज ये प्लेन दिख रहा है तो क्लियर बात। अच्छा, टेंजेंट प्लेन, गॉट इट गॉट इट। सो दिस इज द got it this is the tangent plane at the tangent plane for surface 2 at the point of intersection of one member of lambda system and one member of mu system। यहाँ पे जो मुझे कंफ्यूजन आ रहा है ए और बी के साथ में, फॉर द टाइम बीइंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज मार्क द स्टार हियर, go through that booklet as well. If any like change comes into the picture, I will definitely try to rectify that. Okay? For the time being, we have the equation like this, and that is a alpha x plus b beta y, a alpha x plus b beta y. So a I should have here, b I should, मतलब मेरे को ऐसा फील आ रहा है, लेकिन अगर मैं करूँगा this is the point, this is the whole point a. Okay, fair. No issues. Got it. Sorted. लिखिए इसको, अभी चमकाते हैं। क्योंकि a alpha x plus b beta y, a alpha is this point. So a, if I do that, so this a will be cancelled. Here I have this, here it is. लिख दीजिए। आराम से लिख लीजिए और कोई तनाव होगा। आप देखिए केवल बच्चा वाला काम था बस, लेकिन प्रॉपर्टीज को डिकोड करना दैट नीड्स लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स, आई हैव डन फॉर यू। Is that noted till here? Is that noted till here? Okay, I hope everyone have noted that. चलिए. So now we will move to the next property that is also like one of good property. Next two properties are gonna summarize this whole chapter. तो आराम से थोड़ा सा धैर्य और रखेंगे, है ना? Just थोड़ा सा पेशेंस. जनरेटिंग लाइंस का ऐसा बाजा बजेगा आज, दोबारा कुछ बचेगा नहीं उसमें. प्रॉपर्टीज ही कर रहे हैं अभी, तो प्रॉपर्टी 4 पर जा रहे हैं हम लोग. Properties of generators of 2. So let's write the property 4. लिखेंगे पहले इस बेसिक प्रॉपर्टी को, लिखेगा. इसका हेडिंग भी डालते हैं हम लोग. परपेंडिकुलर जनरेटर्स. I have already said nothing new here. We are just revising our concepts that you can listen. Perpendicular generators of 2. So now he is interested something to talk about perpendicular generators. Okay? Chale, let's move on. So when you talk about generators, so obviously we can write the generators for the 2. तो अभी हम इसको देखते हैं. So what is the property? Let's write that as here. The locus of the point of intersection, the locus of the point of intersection of two perpendicular generators, of hyperboloid of one seat is a sphere, and that sphere we will get as director sphere. X square plus y square plus z square equals to a square plus b square minus c square. So you can remember this as well, ताकि एग्जाम हॉल में गलती होने का चांस एकदम से मिनिमाइज हो जाएगा. क्लियर? चलिए. So let's revise our basics and let's see how many of you have exactly able to recall. आगे बढ़े. देखिए ध्यान से. Be on the board please everyone. क्या झूठ मूठ का तमाशा है ये? सारे लोग बोर्ड पर आएंगे. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि यहाँ नया कुछ सीखना है. Nothing new. So lambda system, say if you try to write the equation of generating lines, means equation of generator, so you will write two equations of planes, because two equations of plane will give you the straight line. So what are the system? X upon a plus z upon c minus lambda into y upon b equals to 0. अगला वाला क्या होगा? x अपॉन a माइनस z अपॉन c माइनस का 1 अपॉन लैम्डा. एक मिनट ना, सिस्टम क्या था वहां पर? लैम्डा इंटू 1. सो दैट इज लैम्डा हियर. सो हियर यू कैन कॉल माइनस लैम्डा और इक्वल्स टू 0. सो हियर वी विल हैव माइनस 1 अपॉन लैम्डा, नहीं प्लस का हो जाएगा, और माइनस का 1 अपॉन लैम्डा इक्वल्स टू 0. राइट और नॉट? रिजल्ट. दिस इज द unsymmetrical form, two planes. But I am trying to discuss about the perpendicular property So it clearly indicates कि भाई मेरे को बताओ did you get the point what we are going to discuss? So this is the unsymmetrical form of generator. So if I say let if L1 M1 N1 ध्यान से देखना let if L1 L1 M1 N1 be DCs of generator. So when I told you in the unsymmetrical form कि how to get those DCs तो कैसे लिखते थे L1 upon determinant value M1 upon determinant value N1 upon determinant value. ठीक है? So there we had the habit of writing the equations like this. Please be on the board. And here it is x upon a minus z upon c plus 1 upon lambda. Right or not? So for this L1 part, we take the determinant for coefficient of y and z. Right or not? So if you observe here y ka coefficients, so in the first equation it is minus lambda, in the second equation it is 1 upon lambda. Right or not? Z ka coefficient it is 1 by c and here it is minus 1 by c. Now I move for m1. m1 के लिए I write y का z वाला first. So 1 by c minus 1 by c then x वाला. Then I write n1. Here I will write 1 upon a. This is 1 upon a y का coefficient minus lambda plus का 1 upon lambda. So from here, if you take this as equal to parameter k1, you will get values for L1, M1, N1 or not. Similarly, ध्यान से देखिएगा. Similarly, for mu system, क्या होगा अपने लिए mu system के लिए? ये तो हो गया lambda system, okay? So that is x upon a minus z upon c minus का lambda into y upon b minus lambda equals to 0 x upon a plus z upon c lambda का mu sorry प्लस वाले में here it was minus तो प्लस आ जाएगा 1 upon mu into y upon b and this will be minus का 1 upon mu equals to 0. So if you write L2 M2 N2 here you will have the things like this. बिना किसी तनाव के I'm saying बिना किसी तनाव के So here x के लिए पहले y वाला कोएफिशिएंट so minus mu 1 upon mu z the coefficient minus 1 by c and it is 1 by c. Here y वाला कोएफिशिएंट so x पहले z वाला minus 1 by c 1 by c then 1 by a 1 by a. Here it is x and y. So this is 1 by a, 1 by a, y is y का coefficient है minus mu 1 upon mu and let's write equals to k2. So अभी डिटरमिनेंट का वैल्यू नहीं आएगा क्या? नहीं आएगा तो p2 का बहुत कस के ठीक है. अब क्या करेंगे? Now using condition of perpendicularity ठीक है that is L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2 equals to 0. So let's say this is the equation 9 this is the 10 कहां से from 9 and 10. So we will get conditions over here and after that to get locus we will get the replacement for the x by z. लिख दीजिए यहां पर आराम से लिखिए बिना किसी तनाव के. From here you will get L1 in terms of K1, है ना? This is कुछ मान लो ये मिला अल्फा, so L1 will be alpha into K1. ऐसे M1 will be some beta into K1, N1 will be some gamma into K1 type, and those L1, N1 वहाँ पर use कर लीजिए. Similarly for this, we have done it right in the chapter plane and straight line multiple times. Not in the plane, in the straight lines, converting unsymmetrical form to symmetrical form. So the beauty is here, मन नहीं मान रहा है, लिख ही देते हैं. The beauty we get, ठीक है? The homework part you can do. We get actually a into lambda plus mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu इसका whole square plus b into 1 minus lambda into mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu का whole square plus c into lambda minus mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu का whole square. Okay, and that part comes out as a square plus b square minus c square. तो मेरे प्यारे बच्चों ये क्या लिखा है? x component of the point of intersection. This is what? Y component of the point of intersection. This is what? Z component of the point of intersection of one member of lambda system and mu system. So here, if you want to find locus, तो क्या मिल जाएगा मुझे? This is the x component, this is the y component, and this is the z component. बोलिए, विश्वास लाइए. So you got x square plus y square plus z square equals to x square plus y square plus z square equals to a square plus b square minus c square. आराम से. So while proving the things, it is not a headache. Basically, it depends on how you worked over your basics. Beautiful, very beautiful. किसी को भी रत्ती भर भी डाउट होगा, प्लीज आस्क. Please write down properly, okay? Don't miss any of the step. Is that noted? you done this? Okay, yes. Fair. So let's move on. Should I continue or shall I take a break? Shall I continue or take a break? Please reply. क्योंकि next two properties are bit different but very important. PYQs are also based on that. So if we take a 10 minutes break or I should continue. Please reply fast. अरे as you wish. चलो मेरी विश तो हमेशा रहती है ब्रेक नहीं लेने की, ठीक है। मैं तो आपके लिए कहता हूँ क्योंकि यू आर ऑन द स्क्रीन, लंबा टाइम हो जाता है। चलो लेट्स कंटिन्यू। देखेंगे ध्यान से, यहाँ पर थोड़े से पॉइंट्स, वी हैव सम पॉइंट्स टू नोटिस हियर। वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट वी आर गोना डिस्कस नाउ। प्रिंसिपल इलेक्ट्रिक सेक्शन पर दे हैव PYQs। ठीक है कनिष्क, ठीक, ओके चलिए। सो राइट द नेक्स्ट हेडिंग। नेक्स्ट हेडिंग क्या ना, एग्जाम पॉइंट करके भी लिख लीजिए, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। ओके, सो द आर्टिकल इज projections of generators on principal planes। प्रिंसिपल प्लेन्स कहने का मतलब होता है z इक्वल्स टू 0, x इक्वल्स टू 0 और x इक्वल्स टू 0 और y इक्वल्स टू 0। अगर आपको समझाऊं मैं यहां पर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल डिस्कशिंग अबाउट projections of generators of hyperboloid, x square upon a square plus y square upon b square minus z square upon c square on the principal plane, z equals to 0। and this is important as well, this for example part na, this you can say part of syllabus what I'm saying, This you can say part of syllabus for you. When you want to discuss about the projections of अब generators क्या है? Generators are lines only, right or not? So now we are interested in finding projection. क्या बताया था? Let's say this is the line. I want परछाई. Projection of this line on the z equals to 0 means xy plane. Z equals to 0 means what? Xy plane. Say yes or no? So let's say if this is a generating line to the hyperboloid of one seat, I want projection of this line on the xy plane. So I want this length. परछाई वाला. Projection के बारे में we already had the information from the chapter 1, that is direction cosines and direction ratios. Clear or not? So now we are interested in that. Here we will be using one important concept of differential calculus, that is envelope. Okay? So envelope का क्या role रहेगा? Just छोटा सा part है. I will be taking that here. Will be describing as well. And for the further you will remember. Fair? चलो बहुत बढ़िया. Let's start. So mathematical forms I am writing here. You will also write like that in the decoded form. Okay? So let's say lambda system के लिए if I write that, so I can have x upon a plus z upon c equals, I will write that in decoded form so that easy to understand. So this is lambda system. Okay? This can also be written as the lambda system for that 2x upon a equals lambda into 1 plus y upon b plus 1 upon lambda into 1 minus y upon b. Okay? Chalo. For mu system, what you can have here is 2x upon a equals, similarly, right? Similarly, we can write mu into, अभी यहाँ पर 2x upon a रहेगा, so mu into 1 plus y upon b plus 1 upon mu into 1 minus y upon, right? अभी अपने को चाहिए now if lambda equals to mu, ठीक है, the two systems of generators have the same projection on z equals to 0 plane, and that is what for us, that is xy plane. So the projection of the generator, यहाँ पर लिख दूँ, यहाँ लिख देता हूँ, that is the next point in the decoded form. The projection of the generator for lambda system can be arranged as, देखिए ध्यान से इसको, this can be arranged as lambda square into, sorry, that is 1 plus y upon b minus 2 lambda b upon x plus 1 minus y upon b for z equals to 0. So if I use z equals to 0 here, I can write this as, now here I would like to mark the star so that you people can remember this from differential calculus. What is envelope for above family? अभी बताऊंगा what is envelope. Envelope for above family, if this is a quadratic equation in lambda, so what you will have, b square minus 4ac or b square equals 4ac, where b is what? coefficient of lambda square, B, A, sorry. A is this, B is the coefficient of lambda, so minus 2x upon B. C is the constant term, that is 1 minus by upon B. So is, अभी मुझे क्या मिलेगा, B square means 4x square upon B square, 4 into 1 plus y upon b, and this is 1 minus y upon b, so that turns out to be 4 got cancelled, it is x square upon b square, इसका कंपोनेंट b है, x का कंपोनेंट b कहां से आ रहा है, this x component must be a, right? वो यहां से चेक कर लीजिए, so from here we will get this, which is ellipse. So here nothing to worry about actually. The point is, if you are in the habit of writing such expressions, then nothing to worry about that. Then there is nothing to worry about that. Okay, yes. So अभी आप देख लीजिए, here I have done the decoded form for you. When you want to write about the projections of a generator on the principal plane, let's say z equals to 0 for hyperboloid of 1c, then you are gonna get the ellipse. So that is the answer for you. Please write down very smoothly, because after this will be called as principal elliptic section. That will be called as principal elliptic section. Okay, please highlight this word, because in your exam you will have this in the PYQs, principal elliptic section. So you may ask why you have found the envelope here. So basically, when I was teaching in the differential calculus, there I told already, the envelope gives a curve which touches the surface from all around, right? Envelope, like the practical feeling for envelope. So envelope of that surface is ellipse. You got it. Please note down that properly. Principal elliptic section of the hyperboloid of 1c by the plane z equals to 0, and that you got as ellipse. Is that done? Shall we proceed now? The further part will continue from here itself, okay? Because that is gonna be the most crucial part. So I'm continuing from there itself, okay? We are continuing. You can keep writing with me as well. So point of intersection. How will it be the point of intersection now? What is the point of intersection for us? A into lambda plus mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu, B into 1 minus lambda into mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu, C into lambda minus mu upon 1 plus lambda into mu. So if we take lambda equals, अभी बताएंगे, like we will get the interpretation, a very beautiful interpretation out of this. Lambda equals mu equals tan theta here, so this will be converted to, if you use lambda equals mu equals tan theta, okay? So from these two we have a sin 2 theta, comma b cos 2 theta, comma 0. So here you can have the dot. अभी देखेंगे, if we take theta equals pi by 4 minus alpha by 2, the above coordinate becomes, this may be a like very abstract in nature, but once you land up at the final result, you will surely enjoy, okay, this is what we were trying to do. Fair? So please have patience for that and keep writing with me. So here we get this as lambda equals mu equals tan pi by 4 minus alpha by 2. So we are discussing about the projections of these generators. Projections of these generators. किस पर चाहिए अपने को? On the plane z equals to 0 is given by the equations z equals to 0 and 2x upon a equals 1 plus y upon b into tan theta. Other component was, अच्छा उसको हटा दिया वहाँ पर, 1 minus y upon b into cot theta. So if I solve that, or this will give me x upon a sin 2 theta, y upon b cos 2 theta equals 1. So if we put for alpha, this we get sin alpha. sin 2 theta है, so cos alpha में जाएगा, sin alpha में जाएगा. Fairness. Please mark star here, because from here we will get the final interpretation for this projections part. Again, I will say it may like looking like very tricky or abstract, but we have to learn sometimes abstract concept as well, because after practicing twice, those will be settled in your mind. So this you call is, which is the tangent plane to the elliptic section at alpha. So please highlight this, that you can call that as an exam point for you. Please note down properly. So that is just a kind of representation, what you call. It is not like we cannot write the point of intersection like this. So this you can convert like a parametric form. If you want to write this in some parameter theta, after the theta you have the angle 2 theta. So you want to represent that in the form of some alpha parameter. It is like that. I hope it will be clear now, right? So that is just a representation in different forms. Is that noted? Everyone? Please say yes or no. Principal elliptic section. शिबू जायसवाल, मैं कह रहा हूं भाई, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट मैंने इतने बार बोल दिया तो अभी आपको यू आर ऑल्सो फीलिंग दैट, बट इट इज एक्चुअली डिफरेंट थिंग. What I am saying, Shibu Jaiswal, it is the point of intersection in the form of lambda and mu. This I converted in the form of theta. These are some points which may lie on some curve. So suppose that I got the curve like this, right? So if I want to represent, don't want to represent 2 theta, in place of that I took some angle alpha here. So this is a plane ka equation, right? In 2D it is a line as well. Yeah? So that you can think on the elliptic section or in the 3D space. Again I am saying here what you are trying to do is you can say just like a form of parameterization of something. Clear or not? चलिए, और इस आर्टिकल को एक दो बार रिवाइज करेंगे, you will have the clarity over that. The next article you can have here, देखिएगा जरा, generators through the, easy only, through the point on the principal elliptic section. ठीक है, principal elliptic section means if you take some point on the principal elliptic section, then what are the equations for generators? What does this mean? That is we are, ध्यान से लिखेंगे, it is easy now. We are interested in finding generators, for example यहाँ पर किसका, hyperboloid, generators of hyperboloid 2, ठीक है, कहां से, passing through a point. Please notice this because in the exam questions you will be in the need of writing this. So here you can write the exam point. Whenever you want to write some point on the elliptic section, how you take that general point. A point on elliptic section, क्या मिला था हमें elliptic section? X square upon a square equals y square upon b square equals to 1. So that is a point you can take as a cos alpha, b sin alpha, z का वैल्यू, लेट से कहा गया प्रिंसिपल इलिप्टिक सेक्शन फॉर z इक्वल्स टू 0. सो द जनरल पॉइंट, इसको हाईलाइट कर लीजिए. Whenever you will be considering here general point, you will be writing that like this: a cos alpha, b sin alpha, 0. Where alpha के लिए what is the relation you have? Where theta equals pi by 4 minus alpha by 2. So alpha का value in terms of theta, और theta कहां से आ रहा है? And theta is coming from this relation. Please write down. This is the next article I have written in the decoded form. Almost final. Almost final. आराम से, है ना? Don't lose the patience, because every time I cannot give you the sweet dish, है ना? Sometimes medicine is also required. But it is not like medicine. If you practice those 2-3 times, you will feel the process like me as I feel that. बाकी like आपकी श्रद्धा है ना? चलिए. So if you want to write that, since DRS of generators of lambda system are a into lambda square minus 1 to b lambda. एक बार लिख लीजिए, बाकी we can discuss in the further classes, not an issue. So that is similarly DRS of generators of new system. How you can write that? A sin alpha minus b cos alpha c. A sin alpha minus b cos alpha c. So finally you can write the Guys. Please write down that without losing the patience, okay? So thing is, as we have a long lecture here, I accept that continuation man. So you may lose your interest in that. Still, what I would like to suggest you, tomorrow when you will revise these things, it will be looking like pretty sure things and easy to understand, easy to retain as well. Still, if you feel how the things are coming here, then booklet I have given you, in that the chapters generating lines के starting में 3 to 4 pages are given for these articles. You can go into details if you come across any of the doubt. Fair? So principal elliptic section on the point पे elliptic section पे point पे ले लिया, through that generators, and generators can be found from any arbitrary point as well. Please write down till here. Is that noted? इसको लिख लीजिए. बाकी what I say is कि already we have like sufficient lecture. So only one article just in continuation of that is remaining for the arbitrary point, but questions are asked over that. So tomorrow we will continue from here itself. We will take problem solving session for generating line by tomorrow. Okay? With one article, just like replication of this, we'll do by tomorrow. Okay? So for today, it's enough from my side. But before that, please note down everything. So generating lines में all the concepts I have done for you. Now it is your duty to revise these concepts. Generating lines में apart from these articles, nothing extra needed. So with the better picture clarity, I have given you all the stuff. Okay, dears. So अभी आपका कोई doubt होगा, you can ask. Otherwise, it's enough for the day. We'll meet by tomorrow, and we'll continue from there itself. But please don't forget to revise all these articles, because just 2-3 revisions will make this concrete. Okay, yes. Good night, everyone. Good night. If you have any doubt here, you can ask. Otherwise, it's enough from my side. Good night.